Welcome everybody. In today's show, Bitcoin velocity hits lows last seen before the Q4 2020 Bitcoin price breakout, and quoting Max Kaiser, El Salvador secures world peace by geographically decentralizing Bitcoin hash with volcano energy. We'll also be discussing the judge to hear Sam Bankman-Fried's defense against 4 million new pages of released evidence. We'll also be discussing Hashdex joins the race for a spot Bitcoin ETF with a brand new, unique strategy, as well as the BitMEX founder Arthur Hayes details the path forward for Bitcoin amid an apocalyptic mood. I'll be breaking down his outlook, as well as Glassnode Analytics says that September, which is right around the corner, could bring big good news for Bitcoin. But as always, there is a catch. We'll also be discussing billionaire Peter Thiel made $1.8 billion allegedly cashing out an 8-year bet on crypto around the time he was touting that 100x price predictions and then the Bitcoin price above $4 million per coin. Also be revealing Bitcoin's biggest enemies list, according to Peter Thiel. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more in today's show. And before we even dive any further, just a quick reminder to smash that like button to help support Crypto News Alerts. And also be sure to subscribe if you like receiving daily premium Crypto News Alerts every single day, 7 days a week, just like this, including on Stacking Saturdays. Also, we just recently launched the Crypto News Alerts Clips channel. To show your support, click the link in the description below or simply visit clips.cryptonewsalerts.net. Subscribe and help support the movement if you'd like to receive daily clips on a regular basis. And with that being shared, fam, welcome everyone just tuning in. This is pod episode number 1383. I'm your host, JV. Today is August 26, 2023, and I'm rocking the 1995 Georgetown Hoyers Iverson throwback. So you know it's game on, and I'm freshly shaven. So, hey, let's freaking go. Anyways, fam, let's kick it off actually with our market watch. You can see Bitcoin barely back in the green, but good sign that it's holding on to 26,000 support and not crashing back to 25,000. We also have Ether pretty even for the day, while BNB is in the red with XRP, Cardano, Polkadot, and Solana in the green, but barely. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap sits just above $1 trillion with 16 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with the Bitcoin dominance at 48.3% and the Ether dominance at 18.9%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, we have SUI up 6%, trading above 58 cents, followed by Miota up 4%, trading at 15 cents, followed by Quant up almost 4%, trading just above 104 bucks. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, holy moly, we have PLS literally up 75.2%, absolutely leading that pack. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated a 38 in fear. Yesterday was a 39, last week a 39, and last month a 51, which is neutral. And welcome to everyone just joining the Crypto News Alerts live stream. I appreciate the support. As you know, this is an interactive show, as we do here every single day, streaming live from YouTube as well as on Rumble. So I greatly appreciate all the support. At the end of today's show, as we do every show, I'm going to be reading everyone's comments out loud. So any questions or comments, be sure to drop them right now. And with that being shared, now let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis and check out the charts of what's popping with the King Crypto, shall we? Bitcoin on-chain activity is at levels last seen before its run to 2021, all-time highs. What a great omen, right? Bitcoin is becoming increasingly static at the current price levels, with an overall Bitcoin price trend absent for months. The impetus to buy or sell is reduced. So underscoring the status quo is the velocity, which is a measurement of Bitcoin units moving around the network. According to Crypto Quant, on the daily timeframes, the metric is now at levels last seen from October of 2020. And how many of you remember in 2020, we soared from 16,000 to a new all-time high the following year of 69,000. So again, great omen. Quoting him here, it can be seen as positive since the whales are holding on to it, or negative since it is not being transferred to new investors. I guess it's all a matter of perspective, right? And he also referred to a similar absence of major trading activity amongst the high volume investors, part of a narrative that states that the market is in wait and see mode on BTC. I'm on StackSat mode as we are every Saturday here personally. Keep stacking them stats, DCA, dollar cost average. But anyways, oversold RSI signal persists in late 2020. Once it put in a long-term bottom, the metrics rebound accompanied Bitcoin's first ascent past 20,000 to new all-time highs a year later. Unlike then, however, Bitcoin appears broadly oversold at its current 26,000 level per its daily RSI as measured by TradingView and Cointelegraph Markets Pro. Now, the 12-hour RSI, which you can see here, hit its lowest level in 5 years this month and has yet to recover, again reflecting a return of investor interest still yet to materialize. So there you have it. How many of you have been stacking sats and are bullish right now? Let me know. And quoting Max Kaiser, El Salvador secures world peace by geographically decentralizing the Bitcoin hash with volcano energy. Shout out to all the people over in El Salvador, President Nayib Bukele, as well as Max and Stacy. Now let's discuss the latest development with scam bankman fraudster, aka SBF. 4 million new pages were recently released. How can you even have this much evidence? How could a human being actually review 4 million pages of evidence? Quite interesting, right? Well, let's break this down, shall we? A federal judge will hear SBF's defense argument against a newly released batch of evidence provided by the U.S. Department of Justice yesterday, August 25th. According to Bankman-Fried's attorneys, an additional 4 million pages of discovery were released less than 6 weeks before the trial. Now, Judge Lewis Kaplan issued an order August 26th today, requesting the government to respond to the letters from SBF's legal team regarding his appropriate access to discovery materials, as well as a request to prevent the government from using evidence produced after July 1st. Quoting his attorneys here, "We further object to the government's production just yesterday of an additional 4 million pages of discovery. The government cannot be allowed to dump millions of pages on the defense less than 6 weeks before the trial for the reasons already discussed in our motions in Lamine, ECF number 206. The government should be precluded from using any such evidence at trial." What are your thoughts, fam? Do you think that is fair for them to dump those 4 million pages on them? Let me know. Today's decision allows Bankman-Fried's legal counsel to present its arguments in a video conference hearing, which is only 4 days away on August 30th. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Bankman-Fried is obviously accused of misappropriating user funds for investments, as well as personal expenses and political campaign donations. A total of 12 criminal counts have been laid against the former FTX CEO to be heard in 2 trials beginning October of 2023 and March of next year. Interestingly, right before the halving, right? And earlier in the week, as reported, Bankman-Fried pleaded not guilty to fraud and money laundering charges levied in an updated indictment by prosecutors. And during the hearing, his lawyers argued for better treatment for his Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, where he has been since, with his bail being revoked on August 11th. According to his attorney, Bankman-Fried has been forced to rely on a diet of bread, peanut butter, and water due to the lack of vegan options provided by the prison. His counsel also raised concerns regarding his medical needs, sharing that he has not received his medication since being jailed. That's right, he hasn't been able to get any of those uppers in which he was on. And I don't even buy into the fact that he was a vegan because he was overweight. And I've personally, as a person who was vegan for years myself and who is still a vegetarian since the age of 16, I just don't buy into it that you would have an overly weight person who really is on a vegan diet, because I've never witnessed it before. But hey, anything is possible. But how do you think this is likely to play out for the fraudster? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. Now let's discuss the ongoing Bitcoin spot ETF race, which is on right now in the United States. We all know once that spot ETF finally gets the approval from the SEC, game theory in full effect. Literally trillions of dollars can be ushered right into the Bitcoin markets. And I know that's going to set this thing up to another parabolic run, especially the perfect storm setting up for the next Bitcoin halving, as the ETFs can be approved next year. I doubt they're likely to be approved this year, as the SEC keeps suppressing them and pushing them back and only allowing futures ETFs. But anyways, let's break this down with Hashdex joining the race. Crypto asset management company Hashdex has joined the competition for a spot Bitcoin ETF in the US. The firm submitted an app to the US SEC for Bitcoin futures ETF that will hold spot Bitcoin. Interestingly, ETFs are investment funds that trade on the stock market with their value derived from the underlying basket of assets such as stocks, bonds, commodities, and other financial instruments. And similarly, Bitcoin ETFs track Bitcoin's value and trade on traditional stock exchanges rather than on the crypto exchanges. Hashdex's approach differs from the recent filings, as it won't depend on Coinbase's surveillance sharing agreement opting to acquire spot Bitcoin from physical exchanges within the CME market. Very interesting. And according to a 19B4 filing by the NYSE ARCA with the US SEC, Hashdex intends to include spot Bitcoin in its futures ETF and modify the name, changing the ticker to Hashdex Bitcoin ETF. As shared here, this breaking news, some experts have responded to this unique Bitcoin ETF filing. James Seyfarth, an analyst at Bloomberg, observed that the strategy involves exclusively conducting exchange for related position transactions. This entails swapping futures contracts for an equivalent spot exposure instead of direct cash purchases from the exchanges. Now, Seyfarth anticipates a higher likelihood of the SEC approval, considering the pressure on Gary Gensler stemming from Grayscale's lawsuit, Ethereum futures submission, and BlackRock's incorporation of the Coinbase surveillance sharing agreement. Other specialists, including Nate Gerasi, president of the ETF store, investor Alistair Mullane, and finance attorney Scott Johnson, have responded to the Hashdex distinctive Bitcoin ETF submission. They believe it could alleviate certain worries of the SEC regarding Bitcoin market manipulation and liquidity. Yeah, like that's their big concern, right? The SEC and its chairman, Gary Gensler, have not commented on the spot Bitcoin ETF apps and the influx of Ethereum ETFs and the potential approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF within this year. So how do you think this is likely to play out? I personally feel around the time of the halving, hopefully right before, like maybe in March, as the halving is scheduled to be roughly sometime in April of 2024, now less than 9 months out. I hope at least one of the major ETF filings get the approval, and then I think it will usher in a domino effect of all of the ETF applications being approved, because they can't just favor BlackRock and deny the less. It'll make them look like pieces of ish. You know what I mean? But anyways, once one gets approved, it's just going to open up Pandora's box, in my humble opinion, and it's going to usher in so much money into the market just based off the halving and the ETF. That alone will more than usher in a six-figure Bitcoin price, in my humble prediction. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments right down below. And which spot ETF do you feel will likely be approved first? If I was a betting man, I'd have to go with BlackRock, just due to their track record of something like 575 to 1 with getting ETFs approved by the SEC. So hey, I mean, the odds are obviously on their side. Now let's discuss the latest with the one and only Arthur Hayes, the ex-BitMEX CEO, and his outlook on Bitcoin. Then we'll break down Glassnode's outlook for September, specifically for Bitcoin, followed by Peter Thiel's $4 million Bitcoin price prediction, as well as cashing out his crypto position for $1.8 billion allegedly. And then we'll dive into our live Q&A for the day. And welcome again to everyone just tuning in. Make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment below. BitMEX founder and crypto vet Arthur Hayes is detailing his outlook for Bitcoin amid the market downturn in a new blog post. Hayes says that Bitcoin and other assets could benefit from the interest income earned on U.S. government paper. The BitMEX co-founder says that while forecasts are suggesting a drastic drop, he sees Bitcoin falling mildly by less than 5% from the current level. Quoting the analyst here, I also believe that at some point, more investors will do the maths and realize that the Fed and the U.S. Treasury combined are handing out billions per month to wealthy savers. This money has to go somewhere, and some of it will flow into tech stocks and crypto. As apocalyptic as the mainstream financial media might sound, vis-a-vis sharp correction in crypto prices, there's a lot of cash that needs a home in finite supply financial assets like cryptocurrency. While some think we are going to break back below 20,000 on Bitcoin, I tend to think we spend the beginning of Q3 chopping around 25,000. The ability for crypto to weather the storm will be directly related to the amount of interest income looking for a new home. And I think Arthur Hayes makes some great points there. I mean, obviously Q4 is now only 4 or 5 days away as we head into September. And I also believe that the lows are currently in for the cycle. I believe we hit that in Q4 of last year, which the current low is 15,700. I don't see the Bitcoin price personally dropping back to sub $20,000. So I actually like Arthur Hayes' analysis here, and I think he is right on point with my personal opinion as well. Now, the crypto capitalist further says that the Fed's move to address liquidity pressures facing U.S. banks will have bullish implications for risk assets like crypto and tech stocks. Quoting him again, one of Bitcoin's value propositions is that it is an antidote for a broken, corrupt, and parasitic fiat banking system. Therefore, as the banking system falters, Bitcoin's value proposition grows stronger. I preach that all the time on the channel. Bitcoin is the antidote, right, to the fiat crappy CBDCs and banking system enslavement. Now, also Bitcoin benefits from increased fiat liquidity. Rich people obviously don't need real stuff. They need financial assets so they can effortlessly consume their heart's desire. Bitcoin has a finite supply, and therefore, as the denominator of the fiat toilet paper grows, so will Bitcoin's value in fiat currency terms. This is why Bitcoin is up 18% since March, and we're still up, over 50% for the year to date. Now, as long as the Fed is committed to its current path, the tech stocks and crypto will continue rising. And apart from big tech as well as crypto, nothing else returns more than just parking your money with the Fed earning close to 6%. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Crypto Haze. Do you think that the current price action of 25,000 will hold as a strong support into the fourth quarter of this year? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. Now let's discuss the latest prediction and outlook from Glassnode, one of my favorite analytic platforms, as being September is right around the corner, bringing us into this fourth quarter. Crypto co-founders of crypto analytics firm Glassnode think Bitcoin could have a strong performance next month. Let's go. Glassnode co-founders who share in the platform X say that Bitcoin's momentum indicator, as well as the relative strength index, which is the RSI, is currently flashing bullish for the king crypto heading into September, which begins Friday. However, they also warn if Bitcoin dips below the key level of 25,500, which we're only $500 away from right now, a move to the upside could prove difficult. Quoting them here, decoding Bitcoin's August trends. What is next? Introduction. Bitcoin's journey in August has caught the attention of the crypto world. Like a memory from June 2022, the daily relative strength index makes people wonder about September. Questions arise about the pain below 25.5 and the lack of buy orders above 26,000. The charts suggest weaker short-term energy, possibly affecting the 25,200 level. This is different from the neutral long-term view. So the outlook, September could bring good news as the RSI hints at a possible comeback, but we need to be careful because going below $25,500 and rising above $26,000 might not be easy. This balance shapes the road ahead. And according to their chart, which you can see here, Bitcoin's RSI sits just below a 30 on a scale of 0 to 100, which generally indicates an oversold territory. The co-founders also say that while the bears are dominating the Bitcoin market at the current moment, it appears that selling a Bitcoin is slowing down. Facts. And they are watching closely for a relief rally that could have Bitcoin retest the $27,000 level. As shared here, Bitcoin sellers are losing steam. The sellers are losing grip as selling pressure weakens post-Bitcoin drop below 26,500 support. Initial signs of system strength emerge, but demand lacking for Strong's long at 26,000. The price bounces on solid 25,230 support. Bullseye relief rally above 26,500 to reach 27,000 resistance. Stay cautious. The shorts control. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the outlook from Glassnode Analytics. Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. And now for the moment you have all been waiting for, let's discuss the latest with billionaire Peter Thiel, who is a keynote speaker at last year's Bitcoin Miami conference, which is the largest conference for Bitcoin in the world. And I was actually there. If any of you were also there, please do let me know. But interestingly, he predicted, and at the time, Bitcoin was trading at roughly just north of 43,000. And he said, I believe the Bitcoin price will rise another 100x from the current prices, which ultimately means $4+ million per one Bitcoin. But even more interestingly, there's rumors, word on the street, that he dumped his large crypto position at around the time of the height, shortly after making the prediction. So that's what I want to cover with you today. And then we'll dive into our live Q&A. And again, welcome to everyone just tuning in. Let me know where you're tuning in from in the live chat, as I greatly appreciate everyone's support, of course. So here we go. Let's discuss this. Peter Thiel's capital firm reportedly made $1.8 billion closing out its crypto positions last year, around the time when the early Bitcoin bull was still predicting the token price to surge 100x. That's right, 100 times 43,000 is roughly 4.3 million per coin. Now, Founders Fund had cashed out almost all of its bets on digital assets by March of 2022, according to a Financial Times report that cited people familiar with the matter. But Thiel was still backing Bitcoin when he spoke at the crypto conference in Miami the following month. Pretty interesting, right? Quoting him here, we're at the end of the fiat money regime, he said, adding that the token's price could increase 100-fold from its level at the time, which was actually 44,000, so virtually predicting a above $4 million price prediction. Now, that prediction was proven false as rising interest rates and failures of high-profile firms like Celsius, Three Arrows Capital, and FTX dragged the crypto sector into a prolonged slump. Obviously, 2022 was the ultimate bearish year, but Bitcoin did plummet over 60% in that year and was trading at under 17,000 by the end of the year, with the current cycle low still at 15,700. Now, the Founders Fund first started pouring money into crypto all the way back in 2014 when Bitcoin was only trading at $750 per coin. And by the time Bitcoin reached its all-time high in November of 2021, it had already surged 8,500% from that level. Now, Thiel has a long track record as one of Silicon Valley's most prominent tech investors. Remember, he is a co-founder of PayPal, and he took early stakes in startups, which also include Facebook, Elon Musk's SpaceX, and ride-hailing app Lyft, and obviously co-founded PayPal all the way back in 1998. Thiel is also a very high-profile supporter of the Republican Party and has continued to voice his support for Donald Trump since the former president left office in January of 2021. And at one point, they were working together. The fund held around 2/3 of its portfolio in the token at one time, referring to Bitcoin, obviously, but now has no significant exposure to crypto, according to sources, which makes this all very interesting. Now let's actually quote the billionaire PayPal co-founder from that speech he gave at the Bitcoin 2022 conference in Miami, quoting him word for word because I transcribed his speech. The enemies list is the list of people who I think are stopping Bitcoin. There are a lot of them. They tend to have nameless, faceless, bureaucratic perspectives, which is, of course, one of the ways they hide. We are going to try to expose them and realize that this is sort of what we have to fight for Bitcoin to go up 10x or 100x. From here, preach. The central banks are going bankrupt. We're at the end of the fiat money regime. The first person on the list is Berkshire Hathaway's CEO Warren Buffett. Thiel put up a picture of Buffett with two of his most famous quotes about Bitcoin. The first one, rat poison squared. We all know that. And I don't own any, and I never will. And lo and behold, how much Bitcoin does Warren Buffett currently hold indirectly because he's a major investor in Bitcoin-related mining companies, so it's interesting, right? He opined, I think the sociopathic grandpa of Omaha is perhaps the most honest and the most direct in it. Now, Thiel further noted that Buffett has a bias that makes him long in the fiat money system, naturally, and money managers who follow Berkshire Hathaway's executive advice will pretend it's complicated to invest into Bitcoin. The next person on the list of Bitcoin enemies is the one and only JP Morgan Chase CEO, Jamie Dimon, aka Jamie the Tapeworm, as Max Keiser refers to him as. Thiel put Dimon's picture up with the following quote, "I don't call them cryptocurrencies, I call them crypto tokens because currencies have rules of law behind them, central banks and tax authorities." And the next picture he put up was that of BlackRock CEO Larry Fink with the following quote, and I remind you, this is before the BlackRock filing for the spot ETF. "I see huge opportunities in digitized crypto blockchain related currency, and that's where I think it's going." The PayPal co-founder added that Fink's quote is somewhat representative of a whole genre of Bitcoin attacks that need further context, stating that the pro-blockchain is an anti-Bitcoin term, very typically. Now, Thiel also brought up environmental, social, and governance, ESG standards, elaborating the following. They have come up with, and perhaps the real enemy is ESG. I think that ESG is just a hate factory, any stress. You can always ask the question, what is the difference between ESG and the CCP, which you can see what that stands for right here. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube, just FYI. Anyways, when you think ESG, you should be thinking CCP. It is the finance genotocracy that runs the country through whatever silly virtue signaling and hate factory to them like ESG they have, the billionaire concluded. And I'll leave you with this. This is what I would call what we have to think of as a revolutionary youth movement. And we have to just go out from this conference and take over the world. So there you have it, coming directly from Peter Thiel. Let me know if you agree or disagree with his predictions regarding the Bitcoin enemy list. I agree 100%. I know that JP Morgan Chase and Jamie Dimon is anti-Bitcoin, meanwhile investing into it indirectly the same way as Warren Buffett. And also BlackRock, I mean, I don't really need to say much, but now BlackRock is obviously bullish on Bitcoin. They're looking to get that spot ETF approved in the United States and be the first to do that, which will usher in trillions of dollars into, the number one crypto in the world, the one and only king, Bitcoin. So it'll be interesting, to see how this all plays out. And what are your thoughts on Peter Thiel allegedly cashing in his Bitcoin prediction at around the time he was making those bullish price predictions? Obviously, he must have made a smart move if, considering the Bitcoin price did dump, shortly after that speech from 44,000 at the time he gave it all the way to 15,700 at the end of last year. So obviously that would put him in a great position to get a new position, but it's all very interesting. Just the fact that someone would be making such bullish predictions and then be selling at the same time. I don't know if that surprises you or not, but it is what it is. But bigger picture, what are your thoughts surrounding his 100x price prediction that the Bitcoin price can realistically hit $4 million per coin? And by what time frame, more importantly, do you think the Bitcoin price trajectory is likely to hit that level at? Let me know your honest thoughts, fam, in the comments right down below. And massive shout out to everyone today in our live chat. Bitcoin Maximus, Bitcoin Trini, what is freaking good? Bring facts in the building. Charles Offeris, what is up? Knoxville, good to see you, fam. We got Steve Kingston, we got Inspector 8 Breaker, we got LFC Liver Film Pool Club, we got Tony Jeffries, what's poppin', fam? We got Paul Gamble in the building. I'm going to start rattling out all of these comments out loud the best that I can. What's up, Huddle Mike? I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the support. This man is always the first person to comment on the show when I go live. As soon as the episode is introduced on YouTube, comments. And I just greatly appreciate that level of support. So much support, much respect. If you gain value out of today's show and you'd like to see more content like this, please do support the show by smashing the like button, and as simple as subscribing and turning on notifications by hitting that sexy bell icon and turning on all notifications. That way you receive notifications each and every day. And a quick reminder, if you're not already subbed to the brand new channel, you want to show your support to Crypto News Alerts and receive daily clips from these live streams, please do subscribe to clips.cryptonewsalerts.net or simply click the link in the description right down below. Also, I also want to share that the Discord server is live. There's a lot of new channels for people to interact in. If you're not already a part of the Crypto News Alerts Discord server, I highly encourage you to join us. The URL is discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. Brand new channels just created this morning, last night. A lot of good things happening, including the 100K Bitcoin Fiesta Puerto Rico channel for us to discuss masterminding when we're all going to link up when the Bitcoin price finally surpasses that $100,000 level. We have Ask a Question chat, which reminds me, actually, we got some really good questions that Digital Dankness posted in the Discord, which I'm actually going to bring up right now and address because they're excellent questions. And if you have a question you want me to address, drop them right now in the chat. So here's what Dankness had to ask us in our private Discord server. In what ways could quantum computing advancements affect Bitcoin's security and encryption? Well, obviously, a supercomputer can solve everything that a computer could do maybe in a fraction of the time. So for example, maybe instead of taking 100 years to crack a problem, you know what I mean? Maybe a supercomputer can do it in 10 minutes. So it is actually a very genuine question, and a lot of professionals say, hey, maybe a supercomputer one day will be developed to where it can hack all of the crypto in the private wallets. But we also have to consider how advanced the cryptography is with 24-word key phrases. You know what I mean? Obviously much more secure than a 12-word key phrase, but even according to Adam Back, who got to give credit where credit is due. Due to his technology, it's a part of Bitcoin's creation, just like Max Kaiser. Adam Back says even the 12-word security key phrases are so safe. That's how advanced this encryption is with cryptocurrency. I even heard, I think it was Andreas Antonopoulos, share a quote sometime, and because he's commonly asked, can't a supercomputer or somebody just hack my private wallet? All it is 24 words. And he shared an analogy that stuck with me. And he said something like, the hacker has a better chance of going to a random beach and selecting a random piece of sand on the earth, like one grain of sand, than actually being able to hack your private keys from your Bitcoin wallet. And that's when it really hit me, and I realized, holy moly, it is absolutely impossible, or people would be doing it left and right. Can a supercomputer change all that? That's a great question. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Do let me know in the comments below. Another good question. Can Bitcoin's underlying technology and blockchain revolutionize industries beyond finance? 100%. We're already seeing that with NFTs. It's changing the way that musicians and artists and people who create, content are rewarded for that. It can virtually change every single industry that there is. It's revolutionary in that way, not just finance. It goes above and beyond. In fact, tell me an industry that won't be affected by blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. I think it will virtually impact every single sector that we have. Let me know your thoughts, fam. Let me get back to some of the live chat questions. Jeremy Amos, appreciate you tuning in, fam. What is good? Good afternoon from Manchester, UK. Shout out to Bitcoin Maximus. How's my main man, JV, and the Crypto News Alerts, fam? I'm doing great. Just another beautiful stacking Saturday. I got the throwback 1995 Allen Iverson jersey on. Back when I was a fanboy, I was in 6th grade at this time. I'll never forget it. I used to love watching the Georgetown Hoyas play ball. And of course, Iverson was my favorite go-to. So got to represent, for the fam. Shout out to the Georgetown Hoyas and shout out to the living legend, Allen Iverson, of course. What's up, $0 G Row? Good afternoon, fam. Also, it's fight night tonight. I know Max Holloway is fighting the Korean Zombie. Who do you got? I got to roll with my boy from Hawaii, the one and only Holloway. 20,000, here we come, says R. Shapiro Gaming. Word up. Does anyone else feel that bearishness, that a sub 20,000 price action is incoming? Do let me know your honest thoughts. Love your show, bro, says Gerald J. Appreciate that. Awesome work. Thank you. You are very welcome. Much love and much respect. Georgetown, you're a Iverson fan, 100%. Who's not an Iverson fan? You know what I mean? If you're a basketball fan and you're not an Iverson fan, there's something wrong with you. That's like not being a Michael Jordan fan. My two favorite ballers of all time got to be Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson. You know what I mean? Hands down. What's up, TG? You've been trading futures before? Nah, I haven't. Personally, I look at that as more so like gambling. I don't have any experience in it, and I can bet if the price is going to go up or down with leverage. Great, you know what I mean? I rather just hold on to my assets over the long haul, and if I made the right choice 10 years from now, boom, game over, mission accomplished. No stress. To me, day trading and futures, I'm not built for that. I like to be able to sleep at night not worrying about if my position is going to be liquidated. I don't like that feeling whatsoever. Like, I despise it. If that's what crypto is all about, being in Bitcoin, and I had to always worry, am I going to get wrecked? Is this going to crash? Too stressful for me. I'm more relaxed, get my position, and in 10 years, let's see how we did. Because I believe in the technology. I already put in my 10,000 hours of research. I've probably put in hundreds of thousands of hours of research. So I stand by Michael Saylor's quote, there is no second best. I've done my research, fam. I put in my homework. You know what I mean? Let me know if you can relate. What's up, Jack? What's up, guys? Good to see you, fam. Eric Castro, Bakersfield, California, in the building. Welcome, welcome, Tough T. Good to see you, fam. Stack 'em up high. You already know Knoxville. Steve Kingston, a good reminder to BEFD. Buy that frickin' dip. Charles, Saturday, stacking with my bro from another mother. Word up. Good stuff. Bitcoin Trini in the building. 4 million. That's ridiculous. How long would it take anyone to get through that? The bigger team, would you need to know how much time? It's a delay strategy. Yeah, I mean, better predictions when there's a time frame given, but this particular prediction didn't give us a time frame, so he was just getting everyone bullish, but at the same time, allegedly selling his bags. So it's kind of interesting, but it is what it is. Not the first time, right? Whoa, crybaby, don't do a crime if you can't do the time. Referring to Bankman-Fried, 100%, right? He's complaining about the food in prison. I mean, you can't expect the prison food to be good. Just saying. I don't think it's an excuse to leave prison. Hey, I don't like the diet. Let me out. Sure, buddy, you can get out. Maxine Waters, we love you, SBF. We love you so much. Clown world. Yo, hats off to, oh my God. I was up to 3 a.m. last night watching the Andrew Tate, Alex Jones premiere. If you missed that, it just came out, I think, yesterday. Watch it. It's really good if you're into that. If you don't like Alex Jones, don't watch it. If you like Alex Jones, you'll appreciate it. If you're an Andrew Tate fan, you'll appreciate it 100%. On the money. Good stuff. A lot of fat vegans, potato chips and Coke. Says David, word. JB, when you decided to become vegetarian, how long did it take you to stop craving meat? It's a great question. This was a lifestyle choice I made when I was 16 years old. So I haven't eaten meat since I was 16, but I have to correct it. The proper word is not a vegetarian, because over the years, I began eating fish. So I think the proper term may be pescatarian, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't even know. But virtually, I eat a lot of fruits and veggies, a lot of oatmeal, a lot of natural protein, like pea protein. And I will eat a piece of salmon typically once a week. So that's the fish that I do partake in. How long did it take me to not have the craving? To be in all honesty, I never had a craving to eat meat. I just did it because my family served it to me. So it wasn't hard or difficult or a stretch or anything difficult to accomplish. I just decided I don't want to eat it, and I didn't have to, and I seeked alternative ways for protein. I still understand how important it is to get protein, because without protein, there's no muscles, and I would be one of those skinny, vegan-looking mofos that just looks like malnourished. But meanwhile, I'm shredded, I'm ripped, I'm stronger than I've ever been. Cardio-wise, I'm better than I've ever been. Even when I was 18 training boxing or kung fu, I'm 40 years old, and I continue to improve my health. So it works for me. I know Nate Diaz, kind of similar logic. He talks about why he became, a vegetarian or vegan, not eat meat. He just says he feels better when he eats meat. He feels full, harder to digest. Same, similar situation. I just feel better, and it works for me. And I don't think there's any right or wrong. I just think whatever you feel is in your best interest, you should do. And I personally feel it's in my best interest. Jacob Anderson says, yes, like Lizzo, she is a vegan, but fat. SBF ingested a lot of cucumbers, but not orally. Ha ha ha. Lizzie eats 3 to 5 veggie pizzas per day. Good Lord. I just don't have a big appetite. I'll be honest. I've been intermittent fasting for the past 7 years since I got on this health kick and fitness. And so I haven't really ate breakfast in that long. I skip breakfast and I have my first meal typically at around 2 o'clock. So before I went live today, I had my first meal, which was oatmeal with natural peanut butter, without the oils and all the unhealthy things added. And then I put fresh cinnamon. Then I put my fresh berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberry, whatever berries I can get my hands on, fresh fruit. And of course, you still got to make up for all the loss of protein from not eating the meat. And it's a challenge. It's not easy to do. So I have to drink protein shakes, add natural pea protein into that. I have to eat lots of nuts. It's kind of like a full-time job to eat properly, but it is what it is. It's the lifestyle that I chose, and I do enjoy it, so I'll stick with it. You know what I mean? Have you guys ever tried to go vegan or vegetarian for a period of time? Do let me know. I'm interested to hear. I'm with you, JV, like Arthur Hayes' outlook too. Word up. I don't think we'll ever go below 23,200 for Bitcoin. Word up. Same here, Steve. I think we'll hold strong. We shall see how it plays out. Daniel says, what date did Westerhouse buy CBS outright? Answer, I don't know. It's a good question. If anyone knows, feel free to answer. Bitcoin is the truth. Preach. 100%. Paul says, would like to see some movement in October just for a dopamine spike. I feel ya. It does get boring sometimes as months go on and the price action is virtually the same as it was. You know what I mean? 6 years ago, for Christ's sake. So I could understand and relate. Spycraft says, logic, who really wants to be on the Bitcoin bear when we all know there is the bull going? Peter Schiff, just because he's Peter Schiff? To be different? I don't know. SBF should enter the Olympics as an archery target for javelin receiver. Oh, these jokes. I love it. Hilarious, fam. That was a nice dip to buy. Seize the moment, Inspector Ape. Appreciate ya. Had put the company together to approve the gambling of the people's money, and he literally tried to tamper with the evidence. He is at fault and guilty. It does seem to be this way. It seems to be very obvious, right? Tony is late, but now in the room. Shout out to Tony Jeffries and shout out to everyone from the UK. The lower it goes, the more I accumulate. I am greedy. Now, while people are fearful, that's what you should be. You're doing the right thing. You're doing the opposite of the consensus. Did put anything together. He was no more than a front man for an intelligent agency and the Democrats. I also believe that as well. I don't think Bankman-Fried was a mastermind. I just think he was a puppet put there to take advantage of the entire crypto ecosystem and usher in unlawful regulations with the SEC. We know Scam Bankman Fraudster was meeting behind closed doors with, Gary the Worm, the chairman. And so who knows what they were really discussing. Also, I don't see SBF as that intelligent to run all of this. There were criminal masterminds behind it. And I think that's who they're protecting. You know what I mean? Obviously. Unfortunately, you just look at SBF. Do you really believe he didn't have his parents being him and all of the ways they influenced him? Exactly. Winnie the Pooh gets mad when you point out he's a commie. I don't know where that comment came from, but hilarious. Shout out to Pooh Bear. The wonderful thing about Tigger, the wonderful thing. I'll never forget that one. That shows his fallible character that he let his company scam. He could have said no and unveiled like Epstein, but chose to be the fall guy. You can't blame anyone else but the owner for the failure. You make a great point. Bitcoin needs $100,000. It's going to be crazy. How many of you are going to be attending the $100,000 fiesta down here in Puerto Rico? Make sure to join that Discord server if you're planning on joining us. That Discord server is discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. I just created a brand new onboarding process this morning, first thing when I woke up, to welcome the new members. So I highly encourage you to take advantage of that, fam. Paul says, Brexit and COVID has opened my eyes to many things, also brought me into Bitcoin. Word up. It's good to hear that. some silver lining out of that, tragic event. Digital hasn't changed. He was just a front man. This next year, us hodlers are going to be very happy. 100% Chester, you already know. JP Diamond, definitely not to be trusted, even less so than Larry Fink and BlackRock. Yeah, you can't trust any of these mofos, but at least they're starting to accumulate Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Obviously, we won't trust them. We don't trust them, and we don't have to trust them. All we have to do is trust the code. You know what I mean? Trust nobody, verify everything. That's how we do. Already happy, but going to be much happier. I feel you. Thank you, JV. You're awesome. Info and news. Tuning in from Clearwater, Florida. Shout out to DCA Bitcoin No Alts. Before moving and relocating here to Puerto Rico, I was living full-time in Clearwater, Florida. So that's my old stomping grounds. Of course, I miss Clearwater Beach very dearly. Beautiful place to be. Can't wait to visit again. Check out the Discord. Good for both newbies and vets. Appreciate what you do and all the info, JV. It has helped tremendously. Happy to hear that, Maximus, and glad you're enjoying the Discord server for Crypto News Alerts. I encourage everyone to join it. If the devil says jump off of a bridge, is it the devil's fault or yours for doing it? I think we have to take responsibility. Obviously, we all want to point the finger at, Satan or the devil, but yeah, you got to stand up and take responsibility for yourself and your actions, right? Yin Yang, 100% spycraft will also hack nuclear codes. That's actually a very interesting concept. And remember at one point, thinking about supercomputers and hacking, the world chess champion could beat the supercomputers. Then I think it was IBM introduced Big Blue, and I don't know if it was Gary Kasparov, but one of the chess grandmasters finally got defeated by AI, and AI has come a long freaking way since the 80s. You know what I mean? Right now, I have one of the most advanced, highest ELO rated computer systems for my e-board. When I say e-board, I'm talking about my chess e-board. I'm a chess nerd. Grew up playing chess since 4th grade and never looked back. One of my favorite things to do even to this day. You know what I mean? To me, it's mental warfare. I love playing chess. I'm obsessed and always will be. It's my favorite thing to do. But anyways, I got this e-chessboard that is like, it can play above a 3,400 ELO score. And just to give you some insights, the greatest chess player of all time right now is considered Magnus Carlsen. His ELO rating is probably just under 3,000. So obviously the AI has really exceeded expectations. They are, can defeat the smartest person in the world. Naturally, they can make more calculations per second. But it'll be interesting what supercomputers are capable of. And I think also, though, at the same time, the technology will just be becoming more advanced for crypto to adopt it. And I don't think the supercomputers will catch up with the encryption because, what's encryption if it can be hacked? You know what I mean? So It'll be interesting nonetheless, fam. It's an interesting conversation and a great question, so I appreciate Dankness for asking it. Sub 20,000 Bitcoin means God loves you and wants you to be rich. Dollar cost average. That's a great perspective. Excellent energy as always, JV. Thank you for building this family. You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. And without you guys, we're nothing. That's what makes this channel special. It's not just delivering the news. Anyone can deliver the news. In fact, AI can deliver the news maybe as good as I can. You know what I mean? But it's about the crypto community and all the resources we have to build together and support each other. And that's what this is really all about. It gets really lonely being a Bitcoiner and not being able to relate in real life to any other individual that's not a Bitcoiner. They just don't get it. So we need a family outside our blood family, you know what I mean? So we can connect and grow and relate and, you know, all the good stuff that comes along with it. So looking forward to it. And I cannot wait to meet each and every one of you at the Bitcoin 100K Fiesta in Puerto Rico, hopefully next year, but we shall see how it plays out. Yeah, HODL DCA, you already know. Tough T, 12 Saints of Bitcoin. 1 is Satoshi, 2 is Max, 3 is Sailor, 4 is Maulers, 5 is Finney, 6 is Jack, 7 is Armstrong. I'm sorry, 7 is Dorsey. 8 is Armstrong, 9 is Kathy Wood, 10 Anthony Pump, 12 is JV. Or 11 is JV. Thank you for giving me 11. That's my favorite number. I was born on the 11th, February 11th. My daughter was born on February 11th. Yes, we share the same exact birthday. 11 is a very significant number to me. Also, I was born in 1983. You add 8 and 3. What's that give you? 11. So appreciate that, fam. Much love and much respect. Appreciate it very, very, very much. Max, if I was told to be a fall guy, I would have said so. It doesn't matter who told him what. He chose to do it. That's right. So he's still responsible regardless if he's the fall guy or not. But yeah, hence why he's getting special treatment. He is the fall guy. I do believe that. Andreas, 1 grain of sand analogy is totally correct, JV. In fact, I've even heard it more like picking one out of all the atoms in the solar system. There you have it. Cryptography is so advanced. There's no way anyone is going to hack that anytime soon. Thank you for clarifying that, fam. Much love. Digital, you and I are the same, but not everyone is like us. Did you think that the buck stops with him? The real culprits are just going to get away with it. Good point. JV rules. I appreciate that. Web City, USA. Much love, much respect. God bless the vegans. More cattle for me. There you go. More meat, more bugs for us to live in the pods. Just playing. I'm not eating the bugs, fam. Don't get it twisted. I also make mega oatmeal bowls too. Yeah, it's my favorite meal of the day. I eat it every freaking day consistently, like for the past 7 years, because I can't find a better meal. It's nutritious, it's delicious, there's no negative side effect because everything in it is 100% natural and organic. So I'm going to stick with what works best for me. Digital, I'm not defunding him for 1 minute. Defending him. I'm just saying he's not done this alone or on his own. Yeah, there's probably dozens of people behind him, in all honesty, fam. It is what it is. We see where you guys are all coming from. Understand 100%. Smash the like button for the Crypto News Alerts fam. Great reminder. It's free to do so. The best way to show your support, simply subscribe to the channel, smash the like, and drop a comment. Simple as that. You want to go a step further and support us? There's a Patreon. That's right. It went live approximately a week ago. You can visit it at patreon.cryptonewsalerts.net and support us. Make a pledge, even if it's only $5 a month, and you're going to get some really good perks that go above and beyond providing $5 a month worth of value. I guarantee you that, fam. So jump on that. And of course, you want to join that Discord server if you haven't already done so. Knoxville says 100,000 Fiesta. Let's go. Yeah, bring it. 2,875 is Magnus' score. So there you have it. He's under a 2,900 ELO, which is like the official rating system for chess players. And the supercomputer that I have that is only this big, it plays above a 3,400 ELO score, virtually impossible for any human being to beat. Maybe on the AI's worst day and Magnus's best day, maybe he stands a chance. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Canada in the building. Shout out to Sean Downey. Appreciate you tuning in, fam. Howard, howdy from Salem, Oregon. Wow, I remember playing the Oregon Trail. I think it was the first time ever using a computer. I think I was in 3rd grade or 1st grade, and I just remember there was these big floppy disks, and I remember Oregon Trail, shooting a squirrel and having 2 pounds of meat. That was back when I ate meat. How many of you remember that game? Crazy, right? That was like the first computer game I have ever played, using a floppy disk. You know what I mean? And I remember in math class, there were floppy disks to solving math equations. Good Lord, we've come a long way, huh? with social media and the internet. Wow. Imagine if we had the internet when we were kids. Whew. Be a totally different world, right? Howdy. Damn, JV, you're such a youngin'. I was living in a fiat house at Drexel when you were born. I'm a youngin'. I feel youngin'. I feel like a youngin', but I'm 40 years old, so it's kind of crazy even saying I'm 40 because I still feel like I'm 18 years old. Isn't it wild? Even if you're 70, like my mom just turned 70. She's like, I don't feel any different from when I was like in my 20s. Obviously, health may be affected a little bit, but overall, it's like you're still the same person. You know what I mean? Maybe you've grown a lot, right? More knowledge and insights, and you age like fine wine sometimes, but it's crazy, right? The soul is limitless, ageless. That's what we got to remember. You know what I mean? We're spiritual beings just having a human experience. We need to capitalize that. Today, I made my beard very short, not usually this short, so I probably look a little younger, which is kind of funny because when the beard grows out, I got those gray spots now, so it shows my age. What's up, fam? Oregon Trail and number munchers. There you go. That was the math game. Oh, my God. Bringing back childhood memories here, Zero. Johnny Rico, number crunchers. Did y'all play that in school? 100%. I remember that one. Miami Beach here. Shout out to Miami. What's good? Last time I was in Miami was at last year's Bitcoin conference. Anyone else there with us? Let me know. I remember 84, baby, right here. Word. Whoa. I'm 40 also. I feel the same way. Always have. Good to note, Johnny Rico. Appreciate you tuning in, supporting the show. Shout out to everyone streaming live on Rumble right now as well. Shout out to Hodl Mike 73, who's 73 years young. Much love. We have Dankness in the building and the rest of the fam. Appreciate the support each and every day on the channel. Let's read some more of the questions that Dankness dropped in the Discord server. And again, if you're not in the Discord server, I highly encourage you to get in there. How might the integration of smart contracts on the Bitcoin blockchain change the landscape of decentralized applications? I guess it would change everything. And don't we already have smart contracts specifically on the Bitcoin blockchain? I know a lot of experts in the field were discussing it. I have never used any, so I really can't speak upon it from firsthand experience, but it does absolutely change the game because with smart contracts, we don't need third parties. The communication is just done automatically, cutting out the middleman. I think a lot of the future of financial products will be this way, using smart contracts and getting out the banks. We don't need the banks. We don't need the central banks. We don't need the middleman. We don't need them taking a percentage of the fees. So I think it will have a huge impact, and I think it already has had an impact, and that impact will become greater as time goes on. What are your guys' thoughts, though? Let me know in the comments right down below. Next question. What cultural and generational shifts are driving the acceptance or rejection of Bitcoin as a legitimate form of value? I think the powers that be, the people who have all the money in the world and the people that control the things in the world, they look at Bitcoin as undermining the US dollar. We've heard Trump say it, former president of the United States. I'm against Bitcoin. I'm against cryptocurrency. It undermines the US dollar and the US financial system. Well, it does. As Max Kaiser says, Bitcoin is a central bank killer, right? Bitcoin was designed so we don't need to rely on central banks or trust them because we don't trust them and we don't want to rely upon them. So has some point there. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's the game changer. It will continue, changing the game. It's going to be interesting to see. I think the only one rejecting it at this point, as far as the mass adoption, they're not necessarily rejecting it, but suppressing it would be, Gary Gensler and the SEC, because it's in their best interest to do so. They want to try to make it seem like the dollar is strong, and they don't want their dollars to leave their Ponzi scheme and go into gold or go into Bitcoin or to go into any other assets. So they try to make it seem, oh, Bitcoin is dangerous. It's only used by, dangerous people and criminals and, the ESG FUD and this FUD and that FUD and Elmer FUD. You can't make this stuff up. It's like an endless onslaught. So naturally, there's going to be forces of evil who are against it. But even them, they can only suppress the price action for so long because Bitcoin has number go up technology every halving, TikTok next block every 10 minutes. You know what I mean? The scarcity increases, the demand increases. We're finally going to have a true demand shock this upcoming halving, coming up. less than 9 months out. So I couldn't be more bullish on the King Crypto personally right now. Another great question: how does the evolving narrative of Bitcoin as digital gold impact its use as a means of daily transactions? I mean, digital gold, obviously gold is not intended to be used for day-to-day transactions. Digital gold is meant to be served as more of a savings account, because you're going to save knowing it's going to grow and go up in purchasing power as the dollar is guaranteed to go down in purchasing power. So naturally, some people do use Bitcoin as a store of value. How many of you are using Bitcoin as the primary use case as a store of value right now? Let me know in those comments right down below. It'll be interesting to see. Now, obviously, Bitcoin has a lot of use cases. It could also be used as money. You could also use it to pay your bills. There's actually a lot of apps which already exist which make you able to do so. Glassnode has apps as well. Strike has apps. You can do a lot of very interesting things. And I think as more and more development and layer 2s are developed, there will be more of a myriad of things that we can do in order to utilize, Bitcoin, whether it's as a money on a day-to-day basis or as a store of value, aka digital gold. Great questions, fam. Welcome, Paul, Friel, the Don, Howard. It is not a dollar; it is a Fed note. Good point. Derivatives are financial weapons of mass destruction, and the dollar is good enough to wipe your butt with it, but obviously, it's not going to be worth much for much longer. We're already seeing firsthand BRICS alliances around the world, and they're moving towards the de-dollarization from the US dollar because no one trusts it anymore. They can just keep printing it. What value is in it? How can we have a strong money when it's that weak? You know what I mean? But they just pretend it's strong, it's protected, and we got inflation under control. It's only at 2%. We know it's a bunch of BS. Michael Saylor already shared, the cat is out of the bag. Inflation is closer to 20% per year. These are the facts. They manipulate the numbers, of course. What's up, Lady Jojo Hodl? Good reminder. Be store of value over time. Oh, store of value, 100%. And it's only going to continue to grow, especially as it becomes a larger asset class. You know what I mean? And for the first time, the machine is threatened. There you have it. We'll end it on that. Anyways, fam, now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's live show. We discussed the latest technical analysis as the Bitcoin velocity hits lows last seen before the Q4 2020 Bitcoin price breakout. We also discussed the latest from the judge to hear SBF's defense against 4 million new pages of newly released evidence, as well as the Hashdex joins the race for a spot Bitcoin ETF with their new unique strategy. We also discussed the latest from the BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes, detailing the path forward for Bitcoin amid an apocalyptic mood. I broke down his outlook. We also discussed Glassnode Analytics says September, next week, could bring good news for Bitcoin and big news, but of course, obviously, there's always a catch. We also discussed billionaire Peter Thiel made $1.8 billion allegedly cashing out on his 8-year bet on cryptocurrency around the time he was touting that 100x price explosion for the King crypto, sending it above $4 million per coin. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments.